Welcome everybody. In the following minutes, I want to give you an overview about the history and function of QUAREP-LiMi. So what was the motivation for the establishment of QUAREP-LiMi? Why standard metadata reporting, common protocols and tools? When experimental results cannot be reproduced or show a large variability, then for a microscope user it's sometimes quite difficult or impossible to judge if the metadata reported are insufficient, the instrument has a problem, or its sample preparation or biological variability, or even altogether. Metadata have to be collected and stored properly and reported and published using a common framework to allow reproducibility. The specs and the performance of an instrument when it's bought and set up at the user side is sometimes not transparently and clearly defined, nor is it easy to follow over time. There should be a clear description in the user manuals accepted and worked out together with the companies about the use of measurement and quantification tools, and possibly tools coming with a new instrument. Tools should allow in an automated manner to check some of the important performance parameters of an instrument, as well as follow and store their values over time. Major sources for problems and disagreements in experimental results, measurements, classify status, performance or testing, instrument specifications are the measurement protocols and conditions not available or improper use of tools and influences like temperature, dirt and other things. This slide shows in a timeline some of the research group imaging facilities, national and international light microscopy networks, and other organizations working over many years on standards and quality control for light microscopy. In April 2020, finally, the time was right to come together and initiate QUAREP-LiMi. So what is QUAREP-LiMi and how is it developed? Quality assessment, quality control, reproducibility and metadata in light microscopy is a topic the community discussed over more than 20 years at FOM and ELMI meetings and other similar occasions, many times. Still progress seemed very difficult and only relatively slow improvements were achieved. The reasons? Complicated topics involved, still some or maybe too many needs to be identified. Many and diverse groups of stakeholders are involved. Researchers using light microscopy, light microscopists, image analysts, companies and suppliers of light microscopy, equipment and software, software developers, scientific publishers, funders, standard organizations. QA and QC might or will for all stakeholders first induce more workload. A positive outcome or benefit of QA and QC is not clear, and results could cause trouble or headache for some or possibly even all of the stakeholders. But maybe now we have reached a point of no return, and all will have advantages. So finally it should or has to be a win-win situation for everybody involved. This is the growth of the international QUAREP-LiMi initiative. So you see from 107 members in 2020, we are now near to 500 members worldwide. The member count has increased by 500% in 3 years, and about 30% of the members are female, and we have members now from 36 countries. What is very important for QUAREP-LiMi, we have a very large number of companies. Only the logos of some of them are shown here. And this counts to about a quarter of the members coming from manufacturers. We have, in addition, members from standard organizations, and the large extent is members from academia. I will now explain the organization of QUAREP-LiMi in working groups. Central is Working Group 9, responsible for the entire organization of QUAREP-LiMi and preparing strategic decisions, including the establishment of new working groups or liaisons with other organizations and new stakeholders. Working groups in the inner green are establishing protocol for specific topics. Working group 1 to 6 focus on commonly used quantities regarding image performance defined by the ISO norm 21073 for confocal microscopy, but are not limited to confocal systems. Working group 13 works on viability and phototoxicity parameters. The new to be founded working groups 14 and 15 will try to deal with environment conditions for microscopy and will be tackling standard protocols for film measurements and analysis. The blue surrounding ring holds working groups which all do no real practical experiments and are more or less in need or tightly connected with the working groups in the inner green ring. Some also give a kind of frame for the ring. Workgroup 7 metadata takes care that the community finds, agrees, uses and stores a common vocabulary and measurement values, allowing to record and describe the universe of light microscopy. Working groups 11 and 12 define guidelines for reporting, showing and analyzing this universe. Working group 10 tries to find measures for the quality of light microscopy images. Working group 8 will develop all kinds of materials and tools to disseminate and teach the messages and results of the other working groups to raise the awareness for their importance. The important message is all working groups are by definition interactive and collaborative with one another. Altogether, the activities of QUAREP-LiMi aim for science which is open, reproducible, findable, accessible, interoperable, reusable. The above are the foundations for automation of metadata annotation, automation of image processing and analysis workflows, and for research data management. We were quite successful with several joint scientific publications and more are coming. 6 times Nature Methods, 3 editorials in Nature Methods, 1 Journal of Microscopy, 1 Journal of Cell Biology, and 3 published measurement protocols and protocols.io, and 3 more are coming soon. Thanks to all QUAREP-LiMi members for making this great success possible, and thank you very much for your attention. We should now continue with a discussion within this breakout room.